Welcome everyone back to the Sanderlanche podcast. We are doing Tress of the Emerald Sea this week, chapters 23 to 29. Yeah, a decent amount of these chapters. We talk a lot more to Fort, we talk a lot more to Hoyd, we learn the stuff about them and the fact that apparently the captain specifically wanted Hoyd on the ship, which is interesting. We get to see the pirates attacking another ship, and Tress manages to stop it from being another massacre through her subterfuge. We learn some super fucked up stuff about the captain, the fact that she's apparently just, I don't know what the correct term would be, but full of these spores. So if she gets a wound, vines pop out of her fucking face, which is all kinds of messed up. And we learn a bit more about the spores because for some reason Weave was keeping the midnight black ones, and so Tress is looking into those and discussing with Ulam, and Soleil, the helmswoman, just seems to be like Tress's best buddy for the most part, doing a level best to keep her from getting killed by the captain. I'm Dak, and with me this week is
Data
and Joe.
Yes, no Jaymee this week. Circumstances arose ensued, but she'll be back next time. So hang on to something, everyone. The Sandlanche is about to begin.
Daughter of the Dune, terror of the West, sail the coast of Ireland with O'Malley on her crest. Sailors on the blue, shaking in their cots, feeling the foreboding of the terror that she wrought. Up the hull and away we go, stop the galley of gold, whack the devil again to blow, we matter above the hold. Dance along on the waterline, speed us over the waves, back to back on the borderlines, to never shut out of the aim. Run your way.
So yeah, 7 chapters again this week, and plus Joe has the 7 from last week that he could also talk about. What did you guys think of these chapters of Tress of the Emerald Sea?
A lot of fun and games. I guess we've settled into a groove now. These are our characters that we're sticking with, at least for the foreseeable future, as opposed to the first few chapters where the supporting cast changed on the regular. But it's good. I like learning more about them. The thing I take away from this is like, yes, this is a standalone novel, but it's not at all subtle about the fact that it's part of the Cosmere at large, I guess. They never outright say Cosmere or anything like that, but they're just openly saying, "Yep, other planets, Hoyd's from them. We're talking to other people. Ulam's such and such." It's just, I guess I'm a bit surprised by just how blatant it is. When, I mean, only Lost Metal has really done it so far, and I know at that point he said the gloves were off, but I was just surprised to see it in this one. Just how blatant it was. It's like, this is part of the wider universe, so you're probably not going to understand a couple of things. Like, oh, okay, cool. Aside from that, it's all pretty fun. I like getting to know these characters. I like Fort. I like Ulam. I like Soleil. The shit going on with Hoyd is funny. The other big takeaway this week is just what's up with the captain. That was a bit of Lovecraftian horror right there. Lovecraftian? No, Cronenbergian.
It could be a little bit Lovecraftian, sure. In the picture, it looks like there's tentacles involved, you know?
Yeah, body horror is more Cronenberg, though.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just telling these guys, unfortunately, the edition we've got, the picture of, there's a lovely picture of the captain with the vines coming out of her face, but it's the page before that where that happens, so it kind of took the sting out of the moment a bit for me, so yeah. Anyway, good set of chapters. I'm curious to see where everything goes. I feel like now we're settling into just the holding pattern. It's like, all right, now we're going to take a step back, because the pace in the first few chapters was really rollicking. It's like, let's get to here, to here, to here. And now it's like, okay, now we're just on the boat and we're going to learn about people for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely slowed up a little bit to get more in depth instead of the skimming along so quick that we were doing. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's also a good point that, yeah, he's not holding back on these references to other things. Although, if you hadn't read a bunch of other things, this is a book that often I've heard people say is a good place to start if you want to read one thing by Brandon and haven't done any of the other stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it depends, because I have all this foreknowledge and I can pick the references to others. If I didn't have that foreknowledge, would it just fly right over my head, or would it, stick out to me? I don't know. So, not coming from an objective position on that one, but I guess it could work.
I like having all the little subtle references that you can pick out. That's always fun.
I mean, there's subtle references, and then there's just straight up saying, that's Nalthian tech, I'm from another planet, Hoyt
True.
sent me a letter, that's all that sort of shit. It's like, yeah, so I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Some of the references, they are not subtle.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Yeah, I wonder if coming into it fresh, if you'd never read anything else, you'd just be like, okay, guy from another planet, why not? It's okay.
Yeah,
Or if you're like, well, wait a second.
Do we have any listeners for whom this was their first novel? Feel free to write us in if you were. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, tell us about that experience.
Or if you know anyone for whom this was their first Cosmere experience, I'd be curious to hear what that experience was like.
God, yeah, it's so different. This has got to be interesting to have started there. I wonder, did you just start with the secret projects? Did you go here and then Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, which is another one that I've heard people say is a decent starting place if you haven't read anything else. So
yeah, okay.
I guess we'll try to judge that when we get there.
I've definitely seen Tress in all the bookshops just as a regular ass book. So it's like it's these books aren't limited to people who back the Kickstarter. They're out there for anyone to pick up off the cuff. So
they are indeed. And so actually Tress has some of my favorite covers that I've seen on it's been through several already because it had, the Kickstarter version and then the hardcover version, then the paperback that came out not long after. It's had a lot of very pretty covers, has Tress.
Yeah.
I had to bring up the list of covers. Apparently the French cover is literally that picture of Crow with the vines coming out of her face.
Oh, Jesus.
So they're just real up front with that one. Oh, and then recently he did this starter kit thing. I don't know if you guys saw anything. It was going around like TikTok and stuff for a while. And where it was like a TikTok store exclusive where if you were interested in some books like starting Brandon Sanderson, but you don't know where to start, here's some books that you can that are good places for that. And one of the ones for that was Tress, and it also had a very here. I'm going to show you guys that cover because I thought it was very pretty.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it looks very classic.
That's a very pretty cover.
Yeah, it was there was 3 books in the starter pack. It was The Final Empire, Tress, and The Emperor's Soul.
Oh,
which also had a very, obviously it's a smaller book, but it also had a very cool cover. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can copy this image also. So yeah, he's going for kind of a look with these 3.
Yeah, those are nice.
So those are now available other places. It was TikTok exclusive for a while, but I believe you can get them on the Dragonsteel store now or other places like that if you are interested in these specific covers that you can only get that way. I think they're all paperbacks. But anyway, yeah, some definite crossover, but I feel like, I guess, written in a way where he's like, someone says Nalthi, that's Nalthian tech, and I'm like, if you have no idea what Nalthis is, because in the book Warbreaker they never even say the name of the planet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm like, does everyone understand that, or does it confuse people? I mean, it's awakened Nalthian tech, so maybe you could infer from who does awakening. Oh, I know, but
yeah. I guess it's also a question of it's one of those things that just gets mentioned, and there's no context for it. It doesn't get explained at all. Yeah, it's one of those things like, and again, this is me biased because I know what it means, but I imagine that if I read that and didn't get an explanation for it would probably stick out to me as something weird. It's like, why did that never get explained? Why does that feel like a reference to that I've completely missed?
Yeah, I can see that.
But again, I'm approaching it from I know what it is, so it's a biased viewpoint to take. So whatever.
Yeah, these chapters were fun. I honestly, I was very sick last week, which is why I wasn't on the show. So apologies for that. But like, I kind of had to read everything in one clip because I didn't read ahead of time last week, so it's hard for me to kind of separate it in my brain. But what I will say is lots of fun stuff here. The kind of thinking Hoyd might be the key to solving her issues is kind of interesting, especially since he's our narrator. And so there's a lot kind of going on with that. The whole talking rat thing being kind of explained, also very interesting, because before that it was kind of like, well, what's the deal with this? So now we kind of get more insight into what's going on with Huck. So very, very cool.
You mean Hank?
In that aspect as well. What? Oh, that's right. I forgot we were calling him Hank.
I forgot last week too for a minute. We had to get back into
it. Yeah. So lots of cool things to kind of read through and find out about, and I'm excited because I feel like we're kind of finally getting into this adventure part. Yeah, the stuff with the captain, very interesting. It reminded me honestly of a little bit, it's not completely a 1-for-1 comparison, but it reminded me of the manga / anime One Piece, because they talked about maybe she had to eat it to get this power. And that's the whole One Piece is all about devil fruit and like the powers that devil fruit give you. So it's kind of it kind of just made me think about that, because we're on the ocean, right? The spore ocean. So it's similar. There's pirates, and there's possibly things that you eat that give you crazy powers. But slowly withering away and dying, that's not great. That's more like having to use a we've been in Stormlight so long, I can't even remember the name of them. The things you use that slowly like turn you into the thing you use to make.
Oh, the soul casters.
Yeah, soul casters.
I was like, where's he going with this? Okay,
yeah.
It
kind of remind me of soul casters a little bit. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited to read more. I was curious when Dak said that the image was actually before the thing, and so me and Data were reading the Kindle version. I assume I went and looked in my Kickstarter cover version, and yeah, the image is like 2 pages before the reveal. So that, I don't know if that was like an error when they printed them, but like, yeah, that's crazy. It's like almost 2 complete pages before the actual reveal that it happens in the story. So kind of an image spoiler there if you're reading the actual hardback version of the book from the Kickstarter. But yeah, so good stuff. Tress, it's kind of a whirlwind adventure here. We're going from one kind of crazy thing to the next, which makes sense, right? It's one book, and we're almost halfway through at this point, so we got to start figuring out what's going on, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited to read more. It's fun.
Joe brought up that we get kind of some revelations about Hank's background also here.
Yeah.
And do you guys trust him less now that we find out that he's in, I don't know, not like lying actively, really. He's just like, he had relevant information that he was not going to share until she basically kind of pushed him to do it. So
yeah, I mean, I think for him, right, it's more of a self-preservation thing probably, because he knows that if people associate him with the sorceress, that they're probably not going to want to be friends with him. And so, and if we believe his story, he's not even really directly related to her.
Right.
It's like this thing of, I am part of a family line of what could possibly have been a familiar to her at some point. But it doesn't seem like he's particularly fond of her. So also, getting more definitive information from people in the book that the sorceress is probably not actually a good guy like we think. It seems like she's pretty bad. So
yeah, we're getting kind of multiple reports at this point about curses that she's put on people, and that's usually not a good sign of a nice guy.
Yeah, maybe. We're just waiting for the rug pull.
Dak's holding out hope. She's gonna be our friend. It's okay. The curses are just how she says hi.
Yeah, I mean, I know Hoyd can be annoying, but like when Rat Guy's like, yeah, no, she's awful, I'm like, well, I trust Hank. Like, why would Hank say that she's awful if she's not?
Fair point.
But again, if he's a descendant of a line rather than someone who actually knew her,
yeah, he doesn't have direct. Yeah,
it's like,
yes,
the story has been passed down through the generations of. How long do rats live? Like 3 years.
Well, we don't know. Magic familiar rats may live longer.
That's true too. I was about to say,
yeah. But it's like, however long the rat lineage has been, and it's like, maybe
rat
the
lineage.
The story got distorted over the rat generations.
It's possible.
Pet rats can live 2 to 4 years. Wild rats usually 1 to 2 or less.
Okay,
there you go.
So, if those are the same sort of rats as we know,
do you guys have you ever had a pet rat?
I have not. A friend of mine did.
We had pet rats in science class at school, but we didn't really, do much for them.
We had pet guinea pigs or something in science class.
Yeah, one of my science class, we had a pet chinchilla, which I was like, this thing just is terrified of being handled in any way, so I don't know why we have this. It's not teaching us anything.
I thought about getting a chinchilla for a while. They have very specialized requirements, though. Like, you gotta have the dust bath for them to roll around in and stuff.
And you can buy that at the pet store. It's not that special.
Yeah. Eventually, when I got a cat, I was like, okay, I probably won't get a chinchilla.
No.
All right. Well, let's get into these chapters, y'all. So we start out with confirmation. There are 12 Cs and 12 different kind of spores, in case we weren't sure about that. And they're even like, I mean, how do you not know this, Tress? And she said, well, I figured I should confirm, since a lot of stuff that I thought was true is not quite. And Fort's like, well, yeah, it's good to ask because there's actually 13 kinds of spores. And Anne's over like, no, there ain't. Don't you be spreading that lie. And he goes, it's not a lie. It's a legend. That's a different thing entirely. And so apparently this possibly mythical 13th spore is called the bone spores. But stories are inconsistent. Are they white? Are they black? Are they both? Who knows? Which, I don't know if you guys thought anything of that, but I immediately think, wait, have they seen some white sand at some point? And they were like, oh, that's also a spore because it does something weird and magical.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
That did not occur to me.
I just assumed there were actually 16 spores. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
That's a fair assumption.
And they just only know about 12, possibly 13.
Could also be true. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just expecting like this is like some foreshadowing for late in the book. She discovers like the next kind of spore and becomes the master of them. She's a sprouter now. She's got to know about spores.
Yeah.
Master of all the spores.
What would be the god spore, like the shard spore?
I
What
hope
would
it's
it do?
purple. I don't know what it does. I hope it's purple.
It makes you really full. That would be nice.
I'm still slightly grumpy that in the original concept art, when they were like, oh, there's gonna be a 5th secret project for Isles of the Emberdark, it was like a purple book. And I was like, oh, it's a purple secret project. And then it ended up being like black. And I was like, oh, fine.
Yeah, man.
I
If
mean-
you're gonna ask which color is cooler, purple or black, I think most people are gonna say black.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, there's another secret project coming, so
Yeah.
It's true, but this one's gonna be like a white and red, it looks like. It's very kind of striking what we've seen so far.
That black book is 20% cooler.
Tress is trying to figure out how many Zephyr Spore bags she needs to make now that she's the official sprouter. She's looking through stuff. How many seas have you seen, Anne? Anne has been to 3 seas, the Emerald, the Sapphire, and the Rose. And Fort's like, I've been to 10. Like, what? No way. And straight up calls him a liar. And he's like, why would I lie about that? You're literally a pirate. Everyone knows you can't trust those.
They just became pirates. What is she talking about?
Also, goodness me, her glass house is sparkling in this
Oh
sunshine.
yeah. Oh yeah.
As she hefts this boulder.
She's really the worst, and like they keep having to take guns away from her. Like what
I
is her
forgot
deal?
about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
She's
at every
actually
turn
just the
she's like,
worst
"Let me
pirate."
shoot this gun," and they're like, "No, you're a terrible shot."
I love the assistant cannon master is the worst shot. They're like, yeah, she's not allowed to touch the cannons.
Yeah, it's like, well, they let her be the assistant cannon master before they actually saw her shoot anything.
That's why you should have tryouts or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the actual cannon master is like a murderous son of a bitch, but you kind of want him around the cannons more than this one, because
Yeah.
at least when he kills people, it's deliberate.
Yeah, that dude was doing some real science with shooting that cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trajectories and wind and all that stuff.
The 2 that Fort has not been to are the Midnight and the Crimson Seas, because those are the most dangerous. The Midnight being where the sorceress lives, and the Crimson Sea being the domain of the dragon.
Which, it's just like, okay, tell me more.
No, will not tell you more.
Yeah, except to say that Tress will eventually face the dragon. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Great.
Oh, yeah. Hoyd does mention that in the narration, is that, we're going to...
So Frost is going to show up?
Maybe. Could be other dragons. We don't know.
We don't even know that he's a dragon.
I thought we mentioned that at some point, because
I think we guessed.
Hoyd called him the old lizard.
Yeah. I think we guessed based on that he must be a dragon, but we don't have complete confirmation of dragonness.
That's true.
Dragonitude? What would be the correct
Dragonhood.
adjective?
Dragatitude.
Dragatitude. I like that.
that is a good one. Yes, I'll go with that.
Yeah. This guy's got a certain dragatitude about him.
So apparently the sorceress controls the Midnight Sea, and it is like the only pass on this side of the planet between two. They're like, yeah, you can't sail around to get to the other side unless you go like all the way around the world, basically. And the king doesn't want to pay tariffs to the sorceress, so that's why there's going to be war.
Yeah. It's always about tariffs, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And Fort's like, it's kind of dumb because he can't even get a fleet through the Crimson. It's too dangerous. Why? Well, maybe the dragon doesn't like ships. Who knows?
Get off my lawn.
The dragon's like, I eat wood. It's like my thing.
Better than, flesh or virgins or whatever dragons are supposed to eat.
You know what it is? This dragon really likes riddles, but everybody sucks at them. So like they go to him and he's like, answer my riddle and I'll let you pass. But they're not intelligent. So Tress is just gonna have to answer some riddles. It's gonna be great.
This riddle is like, what have I got in my pockets is?
It's like, that's not a riddle. That's messed up. Come on, Bilbo.
Really?
There's a sign at the entrance of the Christmas Sea that says, "Abandon hope, ye dumbasses."
I want that sign for my cubicle or something, yeah.
Bilbo cheated to get that ring, just so everybody knows.
Right? Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
And not on purpose at first. He was like asking himself, and then Golem assumed that was the question, and he kind of went with it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Did you call him Golem?
Gollum.
He did say it kind of weird. I was gonna let it slide.
I was like, the Pokemon?
The Pokemon, exactly.
Or the thing in mythology, a golem.
Yes, yes, that is true.
Der Bärenjuden ein Golem ist?
I don't know, just the idea of Martin Freeman walking around with like the Pokemon Golem behind him is amusing to me.
A giant rock with lava inside it.
Would he choose that one, really?
Have you guys seen those creepy reels with like AI Pokemon like eating each other? It's messed up.
Nope.
No.
And I hope never to.
Right? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to see that.
I don't know why it got in my algorithm, but it's horrifying. It's like they do it like the style of like a nature documentary where there's like a narrator, but it's pretty gross.
I bought my son once off of Etsy, like somebody made a.
Why would you buy a child off Etsy?
No, somebody made a
Good one, Dak.
Pokemon
Thanks.
anatomy book, and it's actually very pretty, like cover and stuff, and it goes into what I'm assuming is completely made up detail about Pokemon anatomy, but it's
Right.
kind of cool.
It's like basically how they can have their magical, crazy abilities.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pokemon, did you guys see they announced the new starters for the next gen?
I did not.
They look
I
weird.
did. They look bland.
Yeah.
The water
There's
one
a-
looks pretty cool. The
There's a
other two just
fire
kinda look
dog.
bland.
There's a fire dog. There's another grass owl or bird, which they already had grass owl, so whatever. And then there's a water like salamander looking thing.
I was talking. Salamander feels like more of a fire thing. Anyway, I was talking to Mike and Tim about the fact that they're re-releasing Leaf Green and Fire Red.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just dropped them on the Switch store for like $20.
Oh, sweet.
And
I was like, I just like, oh, I should get those, and then I go, no, I still have a working Fire Red Game Boy Advance cartridge and a working DS. I don't need to drop $20 for a game I've already got.
Fair.
Right.
For me, it's more. I was like, I don't play the originals unless I can glitch a Mew, and so I don't. Leaf Green, Fire Red, they don't let me do that.
Yeah, they don't let you do that. You can glitch. I actually figured out you can glitch any Pokemon in the original game.
Yeah, it just depends
I
on.
did a deep dive.
Yeah, I've read all about that, but I just want Mew.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he's pretty easy to glitch in this Cerulean. For more on Pokemon, don't listen to this podcast. This is not what we normally talk about.
How did we get here?
We were talking about Golem.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it was me. I was responsible. Doi.
Okay, let me see here. So there's at least 2 cannons on the ship, and so Tress is replacing the messed up cannonballs in each cannon, which obviously that's a good idea for her. And Anne is like, "Hey, can you make me some extra like shots so I can do some practice?" And Tress is like, "I mean, yeah, assuming the captain says it's all right." And Anne's like, "Right, yeah, captain."
The captain say it's all right. Oh yeah.
I feel like, okay, if you don't have permission, people are going to notice if you're taking practice shots with a fucking cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No joke. I'm not allowed to touch the cannon, but let me have some of those cannonballs.
I assume the Zephyr spores aren't as loud as like powder, but pretty sure someone's going to notice nonetheless.
It's not like it's a big ship.
Yeah. And the cannon master cleans the cannon, so it's like when he cleans, he's gonna be like, "Hey."
And after Anne leaves, Tress manages to get out of fort. Like, what is the deal with her and the cannon? And Anne really likes firing the cannon, really likes guns, but they figured out quickly they should not let her shoot them.
I mean, that is sad. It's like the one thing she likes, but she's really bad at it. And it's dangerous. So they're like, yeah, that one thing you really want to do, you can't do it.
Yeah, she got the job because she asked when the last one died, no one thought to have her try first. She has worse aim than a drunk man riding a 3-legged llama. She once fired a pistol at a target and managed to nearly hit me, and I was standing next to her.
Like, that's some... Like, there's trying to be bad, and then there's just whatever the fuck that is.
Right? Oh, man. And in exchange for this information, he gets out of Tress why she's here and what she's after. And she comes right out and tells him. Which I was like, maybe you should keep this stuff quiet, girl. But no, she's opening up. And he's basically like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's dead. Like, don't try to go and save him. This is not a good idea. And she's like, well, I thought maybe, I could raise the money somehow to pay his ransom. And Fort's like, oh, did nobody tell you? That's not how the sorceress's ransoms work. She asks for souls, usually from the royal bloodline.
Yeah, but somehow she's still going to be good.
I mean, once again, this is like third-hand information we're getting, but that does sound pretty messed up.
I feel like we could trust Fort. I mean, he may not know everything, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is one of those like, to go to another naval fantasy, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, they're talking about how the Black Pearl like never leaves any survivors, and then and Sparrow just looks at them and just goes, "No survivors." Then who the fuck's telling these stories? Like, there's all this stuff about it's like no one ever sees the sorceress. Everyone who comes across her dies. So we totally know what she's actually about, and like, yeah, like I don't know if she's going to war with the king, and it sounds like she's ready for the fight. It might just be a case of her just going, "I'll ask for something he can never possibly give me, just so he can't actually pay my ransoms."
Tariff this.
Because the ransom letter at least does have to get out. People have to see that in order to try to pay the ransom. So that might be one of the things that people know more reliably for all we know. But yeah, who knows? I don't think Fort is intentionally lying here either. But that doesn't mean that he knows everything that he thinks he knows.
Yeah, and that's the rub, isn't it? It's the same as what I was saying with Hank before. It's like, yeah, he says he knows stuff, but he's also how many lines down the rat lineage. So his information is second, third, fourth, etc. hand. Same with Fort. Like the information he's gotten, he's heard, through the grapevine. We're not getting anything firsthand here, so you can take it all. I take it all with a grain of salt. Like, could the sorceress be a good guy? Could the sorceress be a bad guy? Could go either way at this point, but we don't know for certain. But there's nothing telling me to look one way or the other. And the fact they're being so heavy-handed about it makes me think there's more to this than we're getting.
Almost certainly more than we're getting, yeah. Whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
We also find out the interesting detail that the captain specifically wanted Hoyd after she heard about his curse.
Yeah, so I've got thoughts about that, but I'll save for predicaments.
Okay. She tasked Fort with going and trading for him. And he was like, it was really not that great a deal because they were really happy to be rid of him. And Tress is like, wait a second. So does that mean that the captain also wants to go and see the sorceress? Are we all trying to get to the wizard? We know that the captain was talking about she wants to go to dangerous seas and she needs the crew to be on board with this. And so maybe, and we get a big whole thing from Hoyd about how Tress is the best ever because she got this idea from the evidence. And then she was like, you know what? I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I'm going to think about this.
Yeah. Sounds like she doesn't need to jump to conclusions, Matt, but that'd be cool.
And he goes on a whole thing. It's like world singers like myself spend decades combing through the folk tales and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he says world bringers.
Oh, world bringers. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know if we've heard that before.
World bringer. I think, isn't that what he was training Sigzil to be, or was that world singer? Am I mixing those two up?
I think that was world singer or something singer.
Which would make sense, right? He's telling stories.
Yeah.
He's singing the tales.
Maybe it's like, that's the ranking system. It's like when you start out, you're a world singer because you're singing about it. But then when you get so good at it, you're not just singing, you're basically bringing the world to people's imaginations. So you bring it. Yeah.
World singer really did it this time.
A promotion.
I'm sure the listeners love it when they hear me talk straight out of my ass.
I think it's their favorite part, actually.
I'm sorry.
What's your favorite part of the podcast? When they say stuff, they don't know what they're saying, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, you guys come up with crazy theories based on like the smallest amount of information, and they love it. Whether they're right or wrong, they're just like, oh my gosh, this is so fun.
Yeah, I'm always more impressed when we're right, but like, yeah, I get it.
I thought you were just gonna be like, I'm always right with my predictions, but
That's not true. I bet if you actually looked at all the predictions I make, I probably have like a 20% success rate.
That's right. As someone in the emails pointed out to me, it's like my predictions suck, but the offhand comments I make throughout the rest of the show are apparently where I nail it.
Yeah, I feel like
Pete
that's
did
all
talk
of
about
us.
that. Yeah. Oh man, yep. Good times, good times. He mentions it's like maybe you would prefer the story about facing a dragon. Well, this isn't that kind of story, which makes it even more remarkable that Tress does do that eventually. But kindly stop getting ahead of me. I can understand why you would want tales of people like Linji who tried to sail around the world with no AVR. I, however, would trade a dozen Linjis for one person willing to sit down and think for a blasted moment about what they're
Now
doing.
we got AVR involved.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, Linji sounds similar to Pachi, so I guess all right. That's from what's what is Six of the Dust Planet again?
I believe their planet is called First of the Sun.
Right, that one. First of the Sun. All right. Well, let's call that FOTS for short.
Nice.
Planet FOTS.
And he is pushing here. I'm sorry, Jaymee missed this because he's pushing here for like, do you know how much communication would shorten all these stories? How many grand romances would have avoided tragedy if the hero was like, you know what? Maybe I should ask her if she likes me first.
Instead of saying, I know why you're sad.
Maybe I should. It's like how many protracted adventures might have been shortened if the heroine stopped to wonder, you know, maybe I should look extra carefully to see if the thing I'm searching for has been with me the entire time. I'm trying to remember what story that is, but it sounds, yeah, that's hilarious. What else we got?
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Wizard of
And that is
Oz.
a heroine, so yeah.
Really any story I feel like where they go on an adventure like trying to find themselves and like the answer was inside me all along.
That's a fair point. I was thinking like items, but yeah, you're right. Okay, and past that, Tress goes back below decks and found Hoyd playing cards with some Dougs, who took all his money and most of his clothes, it sounds like.
I know we're not talking about Dougs from Star Wars, but when they refer to multiple Dougs, it just makes me think of that. It's like all the
Star
Dougs.
Wars?
Yeah, like Sebulba, he's a Doug
Oh, right, the goat people.
that walk on their hands for some reason.
He does
Yeah.
the Dougie. He asked Tress if she would like to play Kings. I still have some undershorts I can bet. And she's like, yeah, no. No thanks. And so she wants to know about his visit to the sorceress, but he cannot tell her. And she infers from his reaction, like, your curse forbids you from talking about your curse. Okay.
Yeah, which I'm like, there's several moments in these chapters where this is happening, where she's talking to him, and I'm like, so how, like, in his brain, because when he narrates, sometimes it seems like he's even in his brain, he's out of it, he's thinking of weird things, but then sometimes it feels like he's having moments of, even though he can't talk correctly, he's having moments of clarity inside his head. So I'm like, how often is that actually happening?
This is a fair question. I think he mentioned somewhere in here that it is not often that he can like put together the force of will for even a short amount of words that he intentionally is trying to get through. And so she's like, so I have to figure out how to break your curse without knowing anything about it. And also you can't help me. And he just goes, I once ate an entire watermelon in one sitting and it gave me diarrhea. Like,
I love that. I don't know why that just really got me. I was just like, what? Also, it's Hoyd, so like, does he mean the same thing when he says watermelon?
Oh, fair point. Who knows?
Mm.
And he
Watermelon's
says
actually a small critter on a melon planet.
Well, that makes it even awkward. I was about to say, did he wear the skin, the watermelon skin, like a hat? But
Yeah.
if it's a different kind of thing, if it was a little animal, then that's a whole lot worse.
It gave him diarrhea because he ate the rind too.
He does say entire.
Yeah, he does. But he says there in the narration, there was still a part of me deep down that knew what was going on. She's cruel like that. Turning a man into a simpleton is fun, but true torture lies in letting him remain just aware enough to be horrified. So, yeah, that doesn't sound nice.
Like this is the first bit of first-hand description of the sorceress we've really gotten. But Hoyd's also, people could call him cruel.
You're not wrong.
He uses corpses as boats.
And he's like, Ulam is useless, of course. That's the problem with immortals. They get used to sitting around waiting for the problems to work themselves out, which is probably true. That is how I would approach things if I could just live through all the problems.
I'm going back to bed for another century.
See ya.
Every time I tried to say anything about my predicament, the curse would activate, driving me back and prompting me to do something monstrous like wear socks with sandals.
That's a good joke, too. I feel like that's a Brandon joke.
And so he manages to string. He's like, he reaches towards Tress, and it's as the spark flares up just a little bit. Listen, this is important. You must bring me to your planet, Tress. I can save you if you do that. And then she's like, but you're here already. And he goes, here what? I said, having deliberately forgotten what I'd said. Planets don't matter. For now, look for the group of 6 stars. And she's like, what the fuck does that mean? And she takes off and finds Huck, or Hank, who has been tormented by the cat and is freaking out about it.
I mean, if a giant creature was trying to eat you, you'd probably be freaking out about it.
I
Yep.
would.
Yep.
And she tries to encourage him.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right?
Welcome to Feline Park. It's like, oh God, no.
She tries to tell him, like, hey, you're smart. You can outthink a cat. And he's like, yeah, but cats, it's always watching, prowling.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's just funny to hear it. It's always watching, prowling.
And she tries to encourage him, like, hey, you could leave. You don't have to stay here just because of me. And he says, like, look, if you were in my position, wouldn't you want to find, like, a sympathetic human and stick close to them? Besides, I got a good feeling about you.
You keep saying this. Which, I mean, Tress is cool, but...
And she says, what about you got some family somewhere, right? Are they like you? And he's like, what do you mean, can they talk? Yeah. I come from a place with a lot like the one you came from. My kind has lived there for generations. My kin thought that it was time to go and see the world and dragged me after them, and it did not go well. So clearly there's a story there, but he doesn't want to get into it. She sees that he points out rather that there's stuff. Wait, hold on, does he? No. She sees that there's like carvings above the bed that look kind of like little starbursts. And she's like, oh, is that what I'm supposed to be looking for? But no, there's no grouping of 6 stars. And she tries to explain it to him, and he's like, why are you listening to Hoyd?
That dumbass?
Besides, those look more like explosions. The stars are under the bed. And sure enough,
information that would have been helpful 20 seconds ago.
There are patterns carved on the bottom side of the bed frame, including a pattern of 6 stars. And she pushes on it, and something clicks open, and she finds a matchbox full of midnight black spores.
It's made out of aluminium.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, we know that aluminum can block silver from killing spores. So,
yeah, it seems like aluminum is the investiture blocker everywhere for some reason.
Yep.
Kind of does. Huh?
I assume it's just like it started as like the tinfoil hat joke, and then it just got out of hand.
Yeah, he got to use that in Era 2, the tinfoil hats, so it worked out. And Huck's like, no, put those away. Midnight spores are dangerous. And she's like, well, how are they dangerous? What do they do? Terrible things. All spores do terrible things. What do they do specifically? And he's like, I don't know, actually, but I feel like you're being way too relaxed about handling them. And so she thinks, I'm going to have to talk to Ulam. He might know some more about this stuff. But just then, there is an alarm. 3 quick bell rings that indicate that there's a ship, and it's time to try and get it. And actually, it takes a while to catch up. Like, this is a real, quote, high-speed sea chase. But they run these guys down, and Crow tells the cannon master, I want a warning shot. And Tress is like, oh, here it is. We'll see if I was successful in getting the bad balls out of there. And he basically makes the perfect shot. The cannonball breaks open right before it arrives at the ship. The ship sprays water out, creates vines that grab the other ship and hold it in place. It's like the perfect pirate shot.
And he's so depressed about it because that wasn't what was supposed to happen.
Like, oh, I succeeded. Why did I succeed?
And I love it. Even the captain's like having to put on a poker face. It's like, hey, good shot, even though you didn't do what I asked. He's like, yes, I'm sorry that I didn't do what you asked.
Nobody else on deck understands what is going on, but Tress is like, ooh, this is tense. And the other ship surrenders after they raise their pirate flag up. And then the sea goes still. And Tress doesn't understand. Like, everyone gets tense. And she's like, wait, well, what's wrong? And Anne's like, well, I mean, they surrendered because they knew we had them beaten. But now we can't maneuver either, and they might just think... And sure enough, here comes a cannonball right back into the crow's song.
Dick move, guys. You already surrendered.
Right? Yeah. And I love Laggard. He's just kind of impressed. He's like, I mean, geez, they hit us first shot. They must have a good cannon master. And then Captain Crow pulls out a musket and kills a guy on the other ship. And it's like, yeah, they used to have a good cannon master. She's cold.
Also, the gun that she uses is like different.
Yeah, it says it's sleeker than the muskets the Dugs carry, and had a different kind of sight on it.
Wonder if it's like an allomantic gun. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That would. And so it's time for Tress to go down and do her job because they've just shot a hole in the boat. And if the seethe begins again, it's going to get flooded with spores, which is bad. And Anne's up here, like, she was ready to go. She's got her pistol out, and like one of the Dugs has to wrestle it away from her.
That was like half. It was like half the crew.
She's like, "Hey, Captain, can I just get one shot off before I go?"
It was like
No.
pretty much the entire crew just went, fucking no, get the gun. Where'd she get that?
And Anne's like, "Man, those Dugs really wanted a chance to use my pistols, huh? Well, let's go follow some orders."
Oh, Anne.
And so the tools that Weave has are not exactly like the box that she saw before. So she doesn't quite understand, but she picks out some that like these look right and goes to try to seal the thing. Hoyd's narration mentions like Weave was a purist. He preferred the classical tools, not the modern ones. So she's got a shield, and she's got a trowel sort of thing, and she's got some spores. And she tries to grow some spores, and some rosite spores in the hole, but it kind of like the crystals just kind of go everywhere. It's not working, and she doesn't understand why. But then she begins getting an idea about how these tools work. The shield draws the growth towards itself, while the little trowel thing like pushes the growth away from itself. So between the two, she can try to kind of direct where the crystals grow. And we get the very specific mention that the shield, which pulls the growth towards itself, is iron, and the trowel thing is steel. And I love that he's like, yes, that was made of steel for those who compulsively track these things. Like Brandon is taunting us a little bit.
Yeah. So we've got the push and the pull going on there. So there's like, it's not quite allomantic, but it's it's not far removed.
Yeah.
I wonder who the shard is for this planet.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Did we haven't talked to Ulam yet about... Yeah, that happens after the captain stuff.
Yeah,
So
it's after
we'll
that.
get there.
Yeah.
So they get the hole patched for now. And when they go back to the deck, 3 bodies are now lying on the deck of the merchant ship. So the rest of the crew has their hands up like, nope, sorry, our bad. And Crow is going to have her crew go over. She's like, swords out, we're boarding him. And this is where Soleil has to step up. And she's like, by tradition, the duty to engage the captain of a captured ship falls to me, doesn't it? We've subdued them. They've surrendered. Like, we don't need to kill these people. And Crow's like, okay, yeah. Let them know I don't appreciate the bilging my ship received after they sent up a flare of surrender. And she's like, yeah, Captain, they'll pay more than the normal bounty, okay? And then Anne pulls out another pistol and and the captain has to be like, Anne, hand it over. She's just got guns all everywhere. It's great. And there's one guy on the other ship who is kind of pissed off. He's cradling the corpse of one of the people Crow has shot. And he's like, is it a friend, a family member? Whatever it is, this guy's pissed off. And dude pulls a gun. And the captain of the merchant ship is like, dude, don't be crazy. You're going to get us all killed, Smock.
Which,
Smock
poor
is
Smock. What a terrible name. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Glorf, but it's still not great.
And then Crow brings up the pistol she's just taken off Anne and points it at the guy. And then instead turns and shoots herself in the head.
I was
She's like,
very
"Oh."
confused at this point. I was
Right?
like, wait, what just happened? Did she try to shoot somebody, but then some magic made the bullet hit her? And I was really confused.
She's as bad a shot as Anne. Jeez.
Yeah. Come on. I thought you
Oh,
were better
yeah,
than
it
this.
Yeah, we know where Anne got it from.
Yeah.
Right? But she doesn't actually shoot herself in the head. She shoots towards her head. And the skin on the side of her head splits open. And vines come out. And one of them catches the bullet.
It's like fucking hell, every so like for the most part, this book is just a bit of fun, whimsical adventure, and then every so often something fucking horrifying happens to remind you, no, we're not holding back.
Body
Yep.
horror. It's like it's like this. It's Gar with sand, except it comes out of his. Well, actually, no, it did come out of his skin. Never mind.
So yeah, it's freaky, and everyone is freaked out.
And fair
She
enough.
She pulls out her canteen and takes a long drink of water, and this smart guy is just like, okay.
What did I just see?
I'm just like, you got a bit. It's a hell of a good flex. It's just like, all right, need to nip this in the bud. Like crazy vine lady. Like, okay, we're not winning this one, guys. Let's just everyone calm the fuck down now.
Oh, you think you have a chance to kill me? Let me show you. That doesn't work.
But I do like that she then uses this opportunity to get that word out that she wasn't able to get out before, where she's like, if you don't think that we'll kill you, ask the crew of the Oots Stream how much they're enjoying life at the bottom of the Verdant Sea.
It's like, ha, now you know we're dead runners or whatever they call them.
Yep. And the chapter ends with Tress being like, what was she? The title of that chapter was The Spore Eaters. So, and then in the digital version, this is where the freaky picture is. But yeah.
Yes. Not in an inappropriate location on the electronic version.
Yeah. I have no idea why the fuck they put it.
I feel like it has to be an error when they initially printed those Kickstarter ones.
Mm.
Because it's like a full 2 pages before.
Yeah.
It is weird. Chapter 28 is called The Extra Good Listener, which is funny because of the ear things that happen. And so we cut right to her talking to Ulam, who says the captain is a gestator for the Verdant Aether. And Tress goes, she just ate what? No, not just a gestator. Oh, jeez.
There's a lot of word jokes in this. I feel like Brandon was going a little too overboard. This chapter specifically, there's several word jokes.
I think it's like he's making it a tick for Ulam specifically, just to be a smartass when it comes to grammar and what have you.
He says your lore calls people like her spore eaters, though I find the term to be imprecise.
Yeah.
So spores, he says, where do they come from? And she's like, well, the moon. And he's like, oh yes, just like food comes from the kitchen. There couldn't possibly be another step.
Oh, he's so sassy.
He is so sassy.
I mean, I actually mentally made him even sassier because it's like his sentence is like, there couldn't possibly be another step involved. I misread the and thought he said human.
Human?
These freaking
there couldn't possibly be another step involved. Human?
Oh, boy.
And so, also, we take a side track where he's got a kidney. He's like, you want this? It'll make your urine smell like lilacs.
She's like, no.
No.
Why would I want that?
Will you sell one of yours? And she goes, again, no. He goes, selfish. You don't need two. She's like, well, how many do you have?
So weird.
And he goes, touche. And she's like, to say what? No. It just.
Yeah, there it is again. Like another word joke. It's like, no, that's. Oh.
Yeah. There was that one Kandra in Bands of Mourning that was like, he was basically trying to be like Benicio del Toro in Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's like, yeah, I'll take your body parts after you die. And we're just like, this guy's kind of weird. I feel like Brandon has taken that aspect and just fucking cranked the dial up on this guy.
Yep.
You thought that was weird. Check out this guy.
We're going up to 11. So he says, your moons are home to a group of voracious entities known as Aethers. Though the true Aethers on other worlds have a symbiosis with people.
Like, wait, is this where that guy comes from? But then, no, it's not.
Yeah, we've seen what the symbiosis looks like. He has like the thing in him, and he can grow the.
It's like
stuff.
This is parasitical Aether.
So he's that sort of says to me, it's like, so he must be from like the same system, same star system, or somewhere very close, because like it's the same kind of investiture, but it's just the one on Tress's planet got pissed off for some reason.
Yeah, we must be in the same area, right? Or you
maybe the shard died after coming to this planet.
Maybe. My corpse is angry.
Corpse boat. Still a cool band name.
Yeah. Spanky the corpse boat.
Spanky the corpse boat. I'm Spanky and this is Corpse Boat.
He says the Aethers on your moons have become insatiable, aggressive, and fecund. Fecund? I forget how you say that. And she goes, I'm not allowed to say that word. And he's like, no, it actually means, well, something close to what you think it means.
There's another one. Like, I'm not allowed to say that word. Like, really?
Wow. That one took me a second as well.
I was like, what are you talking about?
He says the aethers are rampantly self-propagating, and each one is connected to a primal element like vegetation, atmosphere, silicate. Those are the three that we've seen: the green, the blue, and the rose. And they're also highly unstable. The tiniest hint of a catalyst, and they pull investiture directly from the spiritual realm to explosively germinate. So, yeah, it's not good, is what I'm getting.
Explosive germination, also a good band name.
Fair. He doesn't know how this thing has happened to the captain, how she has become what he calls a gestator for the aether. But he says some people say it randomly happens when you fall into the sea, and others say you have to ingest a special kind of spore. And then we get sidetracked by the fact that he has an extra ear on his arm. And she's like, wouldn't your head be better? And he's like, I already have two there. Did you not notice? Irregardless.
Oh my God.
That one was painful.
Yeah, I read that one and I was like, up to now I wasn't that mad at it, but that one.
And so,
and again, I just keep thinking the dude from I Hate Dragons would fucking hate this guy.
Oh yeah,
I still haven't read that, but that's funny.
And so we always see the captain drinking from her flask of water because she constantly has to take in water because what she does take in feeds the aether on the moon somehow. Oh, and also her condition is extremely painful and always fatal.
Yeah. So did she do it by choice? That's the question. I wonder if she's trying to go to the sorceress to get rid of it. If that's indeed her goal.
Maybe it's like the Night Watcher. You can get a boon and a curse.
Or you'd be like, hey, I'm invincible. Ha, you can't do anything to me. Oh, I'll curse you. Now it doesn't work. Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, that would be funny. It's like, my curse is that you took away my superpowers.
Oh no.
And Tress is like, man, that almost makes me feel sorry for her. And he's like, yeah, well, most terrible mass murderers like Crow do tend to be well acquainted with tragedy. It makes you wonder who is the true monster, the killer or the society that created them. And Tress just nods like, yeah, it's some deep stuff. And he goes, oh, it's a trick question, actually. The real monster is the one in the drawer next to you. I gave it 7 different faces.
God.
Dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, what are we talking about here? Also, like, in the past, the Kandra that we've met have been, they kind of have like a mission. This guy just seems batshit. He's just like, I'm just doing whatever I want to do.
He's just like, I came here and I found Hoyd acting crazy and I am going to fucking savor it, so.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care what Harmonium says. I'm doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah, he's just having a good old time. Being batshit, yeah.
I did have to wonder, it's like, can Kandra get ADHD? Because it seems like where this is going.
I feel like this is Hoyd narrating what he thinks a Kandra's like, and this guy's not actually like this.
We'll meet him in a later book, and he's basically Tensoon, very stern and taciturn.
Yeah, and
it's like, hey, I heard this story where you like had an ear on your arm, and you kept like this 7-faced monster in a drawer, and he's like, what?
He's like, fucking Hoyd, shut up.
Hoyd's getting back at him for telling all their friends all the crazy shit that he said when he was cursed. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. You said crazy shit about me, I'll say crazy shit about you.
He confirms that, yeah, the captain could kill everyone on this ship and not have to worry at all. So that's why the whole crew is terrified of her.
Valid.
And we don't know how long Crow has left, but Ulam thinks it is not long. I doubt she has months left. So like weeks, days, hard to say. And then after this conversation, he's like, did you want anything else? Because I've got an 8th face, and I want to see if I can put it on the monster also. And then she goes, well, what do midnight spores do? And he frowns, and he turns, he's like, Hoyd, did you give Tress midnight spores? No, I gave them to Weave. And then in parentheses, in my defense, I'd thought them a kind of licorice.
Okay.
So midnight spores are very different from the others. They need a persistent living source of water. They create midnight aether, also called the midnight essence, which, hey, that's something we've heard before.
Was that Shadow Monsters, or
Yep.
the Midnight Mother made those?
Yeah, the Midnight Mother, or Ray Shafir, creates the midnight essence monsters. Yep.
And it's all coming together now, except it's really not. It's just like
really
lines.
not, yeah.
This is actually just raises further questions.
Yeah, I feel like we're looking at the board from It's Always Sunny with Charlie standing in front of it, just like like I'm just getting so confused.
There's red string connecting all sorts of stuff, and we can't
Yeah.
figure out what it means.
No.
Yeah.
And so people use them to spy on folks, but you got to make sure your creation isn't too large or it'll escape your control. And she's like, I barely understood half of what you said just now. It's like, half? I knew you were smart. Your brain, and she goes, is not for sale. To which Hoyd pops in again to be like, you can have mine. It keeps trying to tell me that dirty socks aren't an acceptable strainer for pasta. And if that's true, I do not want to think about it. I mean, I guess it would work. Would not be my first choice as a pasta strainer.
It wouldn't be acceptable, I think, is the thing.
I would put it much further down the list than first or second choice, frankly.
Yeah. Hey, man,
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the Boy Scouts. I don't think that was ever something I considered.
Yeah. I could probably put that somewhere around the 500th choice.
A clean pair of pantyhose, maybe. A dirty sock, no.
If you're just really desperate for some pasta string.
Yeah.
I feel like there's easier ways without a strainer at all. You just,
For
put your hand
sure.
there and, yeah.
Just run some water in it, and strain it with your hand.
It's like at that point, if I'm that desperate, I'm throwing the pasta out and going to the club.
Going to the club.
Just going to the pub, get some dinner. Because yeah, if I get to that point where I'm that desperate for pasta, I don't need pasta.
What's your favorite pub meal?
I'm always quite partial to a fried chicken burger.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
we call them sandwiches in the U.S., but yeah,
chicken
You don't have
sandwich.
burgers?
we call chicken sandwich. We call chicken burgers chicken sandwiches here.
Oh,
We don't call
Yeah,
them
that-
burgers.
I don't think I've ever heard chicken burger before.
That's a UK Australian thing I've figured out.
so
What if you ground the chicken up and then made it into a patty? If that would be more of a burger.
Mm.
So it has to be beef to make it a burger over there.
Yeah,
I've heard of a turkey burger.
I guess that's true. I guess we've just said it specifically for chicken for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah, it's random.
weird.
Cultural
I mean,
differences on display.
Burgers are sandwiches, so it's
Look,
fine.
I'm not super semantic about it. I know we call them chicken sandwiches, and I was watching a thing in England where these kids are like, "Why do you call it a sandwich? It's a burger."
It's like
So, I was like,
I was-
"Oh, I guess that's a difference between us."
but it's like like the difference between a sandwich and a burger is the kind of bread that it uses. If it's just plain bread, that's a sandwich. If it's specifically a burger bun, then it's a burger. So if the
Yeah.
chicken sandwich is on a burger bun,
We're wild over here. We use burger buns and we call them chicken sandwiches.
I mean, yeah, we use buns for lots of stuff that we call a sandwich. You got like a barbecue sandwich.
That's
or-
true. Yeah, if you have a brisket we
Yeah,
call it a brisket
brisket.
sandwich, not a biscuit burger.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I've never put much thought into that before, but that's totally true. Yeah,
The more you know.
I can put stuff in a hot dog bun, and it doesn't have to be a hot dog.
That's true. Like,
don't know what you call it at
or
that
if you,
point.
or would you call it a hot dog if you're eating it in a regular piece of bread? I mean, yes, but
They have freedom sausage in a regular piece of bread or whatever.
So
it
that's
was, right?
that's a sausage
That's true.
sandwich, and again, it's contained in like a regular piece of bread.
I really wish we did that here. Like every
I
time
know,
you
right?
describe it, I'm just like, I would go out and vote just so I could get my sausage sandwich. Sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
I am absolutely like they should require everyone to vote, and there should be sandwiches. So,
Yes, sandwiches involved.
yeah. And like a carnival at the school and stuff. Yeah,
Man, now I just want a sausage sandwich really bad.
it's great.
We do a thing here in Texas. Well, I'm sure they do it in other states, but in Texas I've seen it a lot where we put a cooked sausage inside of a tortilla.
That's true
Ooh,
It's pretty
Ooh,
good.
That sounds nice. I might try that.
because you put everything inside of a tortilla and call it a
True.
taco
That is
or
true.
whatever.
It's just another carbohydrate delivery system.
But they start talking about Hoyd's curse here, and Ulam's like, "Oh yeah, he's not going to be able to tell you anything about it." And Hoyd kind of struggles once again and gets a few words out, like find a person who isn't a person and can talk when they should not.
Did we skip the bit where it's like Ulam is writing down Hoyd's quotes and just like I could milk
Yeah.
this for decades, and then
This
the
is
narration
great.
goes, he did.
He did.
He did.
I love it.
Uh,
I want more of this guy, like with Hoyd and other planets, just being around in the background and being like, just like giving him a hard time. I feel like Hoyd doesn't get a hard time in other places.
That's true. This is the only time we've seen Hoyd on the back foot.
Yeah, well, he's literally like cursed, so I guess you can't blame him for being that way.
Yeah, but every other planet, he seems to be a step ahead of everyone.
Right.
yeah, this is one I told you guys about when Brandon was talking about the fires of December, the new secret project. He's like, this is going to be one of Hoyd's travails, which are stories that involve Hoyd being on the back foot, might be a good word for it. And so this is the first one like that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Interesting. Hoyd's not infallible.
Well, we all knew that.
And so Tress figures out, like, does he mean like a talking animal? And Ulam's like, yeah, that's gotta. He wants you to find a familiar. Powerful users of investiture or magic, if you prefer, are often associated with talking animals. And then he goes, I admit, on some worlds, my own species is the cause of those rumors.
Man, this Chandra.
Yep. But it's like, have we, aside from the Chandra, have we ever seen talking animals? And Hank, of course?
That's a good question.
He mentions that an Awakener's art might have resulted in these rumors elsewhere. We've seen a talking sword. Maybe you could awaken an animal or a dead animal in a way.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, maybe. The only animals we really saw in Warbreaker were, Tonkfar's poor pets.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. No, we saw an awakened squirrel that Vasher and Lightsong both used to great effect.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Did the squirrel talk, though? I don't recall.
No, it just gibbered and ran around.
I mean, I guess you could, in the awakening process, tell it, like, hey, talk.
Maybe.
But,
I mean, to be fair, we've only been on a handful of planets at this point.
Yeah.
I guess, like, we talked about AVR. They don't really talk, but, like, they've all got different abilities. Maybe one of them could.
Right.
Well, and they seem to communicate in a way, like, Dusk often understands what the birds are kind of communicating to him. Not in, like, a complicated vocal way, but like getting some ideas across.
But yeah, it's like, this is the first time we've seen a talking animal that is actually a talking animal and not a blob monster pretending to be one.
Yeah. And he says, like, you'll often see them. Familiars are small creatures, usually, like a bird or a cat. Or Tress goes, or a rat. And he's like, yeah. And Tress is out the door.
She's like, I know one of those.
And then she's like, Hank, you've been lying to me. Meanwhile, Hank is sitting here chewing on bread, but also on the notebook that we've left behind. Rude.
Just reminds me of The Simpsons when Homer's having his vision quest and Johnny Cash the coyote is just gnawing on his leg. Like, hey, get off! Oh, sorry. I am a coyote.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, that's classic.
Oh, man. And so she's like, why didn't you tell me you were familiar? And he's like, I am a familiar, which is why I can talk. How did you find out? And he says, like, the sorceress is a horrible person, Tress. You don't want to get close to her. You don't want to try to get to the island. Just don't do it. And she's like, you're going to tell me everything you know about the sorceress or else. And he squeaks, like, or else what? And she's like, or else I won't talk to you anymore. And he's, wait, you're not going to, like, throw me overboard or something? And she goes, what? No, that would be awful.
I love that. He's like, you're not a good pirate.
No, you're not. You make a terrible pirate, Tress.
It's like, do you want me to throw you overboard?
Well, no, but...
And so he's like, okay, look, I'm not a familiar, but I guess kinda I am, just not the way you're thinking. My whole family can talk. I grew up on a lonely island far from the sorceress's realm. And she's like, oh, so you're like descended from familiars? And he's just, yeah, okay, that's a good explanation. If you really want to get to the sorceress, your best bet is to break Hoyd's curse. I cannot lead you there.
Like how he's like, that's a good explanation. I'm not saying that's true, but that's a good explanation.
And let's see. She's like, can you at least help me break Hoyd's curse? And he's like, I'm not supposed to talk about this, but if we're talking about Hoyd, okay, here's the problem. The sorceress's magic forbids the person from talking about the specifics of their curse.
For not being a direct familiar, he seems to know what's up.
He's got a lot of info on the sorceress and her curses, which he says, I've heard from my family.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. So let's pretend you have a friend who's cursed. And if you say, are you cursed? They can't tell you. They can't answer that. They can't say yes. But the fact that they can't answer that is pretty much a confirmation. And so you're getting new information.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a logic puzzle.
And he's like, I'm trying to help, but there's not a lot that I can say. You've got to find a way to circumvent the curse. Like, assume you ask your friend, how do I undo the curse? That friend won't be able to tell you. But if you told your friend a story about someone else who's cursed and said, hey, what do you think about that? They might be able to tell you something because we're talking about that story. We're not talking about their curse. So you might be able to like sneak useful information out that way. And she's like, well, that sounds like it would involve a lot of guesswork and confusion. And he's like, yeah, and frustration. But it's all I got for you. And he says, we need to focus on what's in front of us because Crow has it in for you. And she's like, well, I thought that at first too, but I think she's turned around and she's happy to have me here. And he's like, doesn't that worry you more than before? And Tress goes, well, now that you mention it, yeah, I should probably be suspicious. And we end the chapter with Soleil at the door of her cabin, and she says, Tress, we need to talk about who you really are. And that is the end of the chapter.
Bum, bum.
So, yeah, something has
dramatic.
come up to make her think Tress is not who she says she is, which, to be fair, Tress has said several things that she is not, I feel like, so...
There is a prophecy. Oh, now there's a prophecy.
For next time, we're reading 7 chapters again. So that's chapters 30 through 36. Predicaments. What do you guys think? Where are we going? What's going to happen? We've got a lot more. I feel like we did a lot of world building in this one. We found a lot more about the sorceress, about curses, about the seas, and all this stuff. So maybe that puts you in a better position to be able to try to predict things. I don't know. What do you guys think is going to happen? Where are we going?
So we sort of touched on this a bit. I get the feeling that Captain Crow, she wants to go to the sorceress, as we've sort of talked about. She needs Hoyd specifically so she can get there. She wants to get there. The obvious choice seems to be she wants to get rid of her curse, get rid of the vininess in the face. But I get the feeling there might be something darker at work. Maybe she thinks that because she's immortal, she's going to get shunned from active society. So maybe she wants to go to the sorceress. Maybe she actually wants to join up with the sorceress, or possibly even supplant her and take over the sorceress's operation. Just she seems to be an absolute monster, willing to kill anyone to get what she's after. And I get the feeling it's like once she gets to the sorceress, she would have no compunctions about killing the rest of the crew. It's like, all right, I just need you to get me here. Now you can all fucking die. So, yeah, I think Captain Crow is going to be our overall villain of the novel, and at the end, she'll go full vine kaiju and attack the sorceress, and then sorceress and Tress have to team up and stop her.
That could be a fight. Vine kaiju. I'm on board for that.
Yeah.
So okay, she's gonna go and. But we know her condition is supposed to be fatal. So is she gonna how does this help her get out of that?
Point. Maybe maybe she seeks out the magic to forestall her death, and then take over. And then if it doesn't work, that's when she goes find kaiju.
She's like, fuck it. If I'm going down, you're all going down.
Yeah.
Okay. I would be on board for this fight, like I said, but
I forgot about the fatal aspect of it. Oh well.
But you're right that we still don't know a lot about the sorceress. Nothing that has been said sounds good, but we know at least some about Crow now, and it's definitely not good. So between the two of them, one is a more clear-cut, direct villain at the moment, for sure.
Yeah. At least one of them is going to go, I'm eviler than you, at the end of the book.
And it's funny because last week Jaymee was theorizing, maybe Crow's not so bad. I wonder if her opinion has changed now. We'll have to wait till next week to find out.
Yeah. She's kind of like what was that James Bond movie with Robert Carlyle was the bad guy? He had like the bullet in his head. It was going to kill him, but it made him stronger until the day he would die.
Let's see.
I don't remember that one.
The World Is Not Enough.
That's the one.
Oh, is that it? Oh, wow. I didn't remember that part of that movie.
Yeah, it was. I actually really like that one. A lot of people are down on the Pierce Brosnan movies that aren't GoldenEye, but I liked World Is Not Enough.
I didn't mind it. I liked it better than Tomorrow Never Dies.
Well, that was just like let's have Rupert Murdoch as the villain, which I can't fault them, but nonetheless, it was kind of a weird choice.
I think I like most of the Brosnan Bond movies. Honestly, I like Die Another Day.
Oh, let's not go too far here.
Whoa,
I enjoy it.
No,
World's Not Enough is probably the one that I remember the least. I think, except for the fact that you've got Christmas Jones or whatever, Denise Richards. I remember her.
That was a weak point.
Yeah, pretty bad. I did like, maybe a hot take. Timothy Dalton era, not great, but I do actually like License to Kill.
I haven't seen the Dalton movies in decades, so
The one with Christopher Walken's a little out there, but License to Kill I like.
no, Christopher Walken was in the last Roger Moore one.
Oh, was that the last Roger Moore one? Okay.
Yeah, that was A View to a Kill.
A View to a Kill, yeah.
Yeah, License to Kill was a young Benicio del Toro's in it. It's got a lot of 80s guys from like Die Hard. There's like several Die Hard actors in that movie.
Yeah.
You're right. Benicio del Toro is in that. It's been. I need to go back and do a James Bond rewatch. It's been a very long time since
they're all on Netflix now, movies. So you can easily watch them.
Yeah, let's see. Dalton did The Living Daylights and License to Kill, neither of which are my favorites, honestly. But
last year, I convinced Jaymee to we did a rewatch of all the X-Men movies.
Oh,
and she hasn't, and the only James Bond movies she's seen are the Daniel Craig ones. So maybe I can convince her to let's go back and watch the others.
Yeah, a lot of people think From Russia with Love is really good. That I really don't like that one, but Goldfinger's great.
Goldfinger's
like Goldfinger. Really, You Only Live Twice is I enjoy that one, although there's some racist stuff happening in there.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like that one. Age well.
Yeah, I also like Diamonds Are Forever, which I know a lot of people don't, but I like that one.
That was the first Connery one I ever saw as a kid. I got given that for my birthday on VHS, and I watched the shit out of it because it was the only Connery one I had access to for the longest time.
I think Live and Let Die may be my favorite, actually.
You really? Live and Let Die is your favorite?
I like the song always sticks with me.
Yeah, it's a good song, for sure.
There's some fun stuff in the movie. It's not the best movie, but
no, that's why I said it's your favorite.
It's a bit of an oddball as far as the movies go, but I'm just like, you know what? It's not just I'm gonna take over the world or become the world superpower. It's actually just like I'm gonna control the drug trade.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
See, that one and Moonraker are the ones that stay with me for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why, but those are the ones that I'm just like.
If your favorite Bond film is Moonraker, write in. I want to know who you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't say favorite for sure, but it's like I remember those movies.
Moonraker's hard to forget. I'll give you that.
If you're like pull out a Bond movie, those are the first two that probably occur to me, and I couldn't tell you exactly why.
I always struggle because The Man with the Golden Gun, not a good movie, but it has probably one of the best villains in it because it's fucking Christopher Lee killing it.
Yeah, that was a shame because that movie had a lot of potential, and then you're like, oh.
But again, he's probably one of the most interesting Bond villains because again, he wasn't all about world domination stuff like that. He was just like, I'm the best, and I'm going to prove it to you, Bond. And like, all right, I can get behind this. And again,
it's like cool.
It's Christopher fucking Lee.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Anyway, that's probably enough Bond.
Yeah. Where were we again? Was I going to make some predicaments or something?
Yeah.
I think it's your turn. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask Dak. You had one thing earlier that you're like, I'm going to wait till predictions talk about that.
That was it.
That was okay. I wanted to make sure that we hit it. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. He was waiting for predicaments to talk about James Bond. Yeah. We're in a tough spot here. I'm in a tight spot, but I really like everything that's happening. The captain stuff, I'm way super interested in that. I'm less interested in her motivation than I am in just like figuring out how in the world this happened to her, how it works, the system at play, like how parasitical is it? They said that she's lived longer than a lot of other people, so is there something else to that? Like, is she actually not concerned about dying soon? What was she doing before becoming a pirate? Why the sudden decision? If she's got this going on, like what is like, I'm just really interested to know what's going on. So I don't know that she's going to be the ultimate villain. I think she actually might end up being a friend by the end. I've obviously flopped on the sorceress before. I thought she was going to be actually a good person. Now I think she is a villain in her own right. Now, is she more diabolical than the king dude? I think maybe the king's still worse. Maybe the sorceress is just misunderstood, but I think she's got some serious power for sure. And so, because, if she used it on Hoyd, there's a reason, right? Like Hoyd doesn't usually insert himself into things to the extent to like make major changes happen. Maybe Stormlight is is an exception to that rule.
Yeah, and the stuff that we've seen, Stormlight definitely seems to be the exception.
Right. But so like what caused her to do it? Just him skulking around, or like what was the deal? I'm just very interested. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any specific predicaments except to say, like, I don't know that the Crow is going to be quite the villain that she appears to be at the outset of this. There's got to be some kind of turn that happened in her brain to get her to this point. Sorceress is going to be a villain in her own right, maybe not worse than the King. And then also, I'm just excited for Tress. I think I kind of agree with Dak. Like, Tress is going to be like the Sprouter Master. Like, she's going to figure out like all the Sprouter stuff. So just excited to see how that unfolds.
She's definitely on her way. She's already learned more about spores than probably a lot of people know just from like the Midnight Spore stuff.
Yeah.
So, do you have any? I was curious. Now that you've both gone, does anyone have any thoughts on? Soleil came to the door at the end. It's like, we need to talk about who you really are. Like, any clue what that might be about?
I think Soleil may be mistaken. Either that or Fort like told her what's going on.
Oh, okay. So that might, it's like, because it's not like Tress was keeping it a secret. She openly told Fort, but Soleil didn't know until, okay, that would make sense. Yeah. All right. I'm also curious. We have been, Jaymee was saying like 2 episodes ago that it seems like we've seen what there is to see of the Verdant Sea. That's a lot of seas. She was ready to head off to a different sea. What do you guys think? If we're going to go to a new sea anytime soon, which sea would it be?
I feel like the story is pointing us toward Crimson and Midnight, but I don't know.
I feel like we'll probably get like a sort of an Odyssey kind of journey where we go across a bunch of them. We get little adventures on each before we really hit the crucial stuff at the end with the Crimson and the Midnight.
I don't know, Dak. That sounds like we got a lot more. I feel like that would require a lot more book.
A lot more book in the book. We are 44% of the way through this book as of this episode.
That's a fair point, but I just don't want to be teased with all these different seas and then just not get a chance to do some fun stuff on them. I want them to go to the Zephyr Sea and just like dump a water barrel behind the boat and just fucking fly across this thing.
Okay,
do a loop. Woo!
Do a flip. Okay, I like this. I also have not been giving you guys the chapter names because I said they're not quite as interesting as the Stormlight chapter names when you do your predictions. I will say there was a couple coming up in this next section that I was going to tell you just because they're fun. Chapter 34 is called The Tosher, and chapter 35 is The Tosher, Tosher.
Daniel
I don't know
Tosh.
what that is.
And chapter 35 is called The Lover of Tea. So I'm hoping Uncle Iroh is showing up.
Nah, it's got to be Hoyd. Hoyd's a tea lover.
Is he?
No, I don't know.
I was like, we haven't seen that, but I mean, that doesn't mean he's not.
I mean, he's all discombobulated, so.
Yeah. Also, like in his current state of mind, I don't want to drink any tea that dude makes.
That's a good point.
You don't know where he brewed it.
That's a good point. And dirty sock.
Yeah, dirty socks didn't work for pasta. So tea, on the other hand, it's a whole different ball game.
He's all about it.
All right, we got some emails and we got some reviews and some new patrons. So
we got it all going
on for that. Yeah, I mean, we skipped some last time because you weren't here to do the people. So
yeah.
Okay, here's a fun one called "Why People Defend Moash."
Ugh. just don't read it.
This one is from Joe.
This is
Joe from Cosmere Chronicles again. It says, "Hey everyone, before you get upset by the subject title." I'm not saying that Moash is right or anything like that. He's clearly a villain. We're not supposed to be rooting for him in the story. That being said, you have brought up on the podcast how people could possibly still defend him, and I do have some reasons for why. It's more of a narrative reason and not so much a moral reason. So early on in the story, Dak was very against Moash. Most of the listeners already knew where his storyline was going. Many defended him and tried to give his reasoning in hopes that Dak and the others might soften a bit and try to see things from his side. Mainly so that it would hurt way more later on. In Way of Kings, and especially in Words of Radiance, Moash and Kaladin have very similar storylines. They both have been beaten down by the Light Eyes and lost people they love because of it. Kaladin's blind hatred of Amaram is a mirror of Moash's blind hatred for Elhokar. The story of Words of Radiance was about letting go of that anger, so readers might have wanted to see both Kaladin and Moash be able to move on from and get past it. Of course, that doesn't happen, and that is where the two characters branch off. It's also kind of a heartbreaking scene to see two men who are friends and very much alike have to fight against each other because one is just consumed with rage and the thirst for vengeance. A very popular trope in media is the redemption arc. People love to see a person that has done something bad realize their mistakes and try to make up for it. In the early parts of Oathbringer, it appears as though that could be Moash's storyline. At that point, he hadn't really done anything unredeemable. Sure, he fought against Kaladin to kill Elhokar, but he hadn't been able to cross the threshold and do the unforgivable.
Pause there. He killed Kaladin. If Kaladin did not have the magic powers, which Moash did not know about, Kaladin would be dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a major flaw in what he's saying. It's like
Yeah.
he tried to kill Kaladin, like,
But he didn't succeed in killing Kaladin.
but he thought he was going to.
through no fault of his own.
Right. Like every instinct, everything he knew about the world up to that point told him, if I do this, he will die. There was no like, maybe he'll be all right.
Yeah. Anyway, so unpause, continue with
No,
the
wait,
email.
I want to continue the pause here for just a second.
Okay. Repause.
Because earlier in his post he's saying that like audience members were defending him so that we would feel some kind of a bigger emotional feeling at the betrayal, I guess. Wanting me to like a character so that I have a bigger emotion later, that is manipulative, like, against me. You don't need to manipulate my feelings. If I don't like a character, like you wanting me to like them so that I will then be hurt more, that's kind of messed up if that was the case.
They're trying to get you, Joe, is what Joe is saying.
Yeah, like, don't manipulate me. I'm not manipulating you.
Okay, unpause. That's a fair reaction, I feel like, to what he just said. So yeah. Him realizing his mistakes and that he was wrong was still a very real possibility at this point. So people still were trying to defend him in hopes that the first-time readers might have accepted Moash and thought that he could make up for it and be redeemed. Of course, we were mainly hoping for this because it would have been much more of a gut punch if you were rooting for Moash and then he kills Elhokar.
There you go. I don't want to be gut punched. You don't get to decide, like, yeah, let's make him like him so he gets gut punched. That's not nice.
No. Like there was still a gut punch in that. Not because what we thought Moash might have redeemed, but because we were starting to think Elhokar might be redeemed.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, Dak had been on Elhokar's side for a bit, honestly.
Yeah, and then I think it's a more narratively acceptable gut punch, right? Like, if I don't like Moash because he's an asshole, and then like he betrays me, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't really like him anyway. I kind of thought this might happen. Like, that's one thing, but like you shouldn't be manipulating people into having an emotional response. I know that's what a lot of art does, but like, come on.
Yeah, and like at the Elhokar moment, it's like, given where Elhokar was at the moment of death, the fact that he died right there, even if Moash hadn't been the one to do it, it still would have been a gut punch because we'd still just be like, he was so close. The fact that it was Moash who did it added a lot more story weight to it and just further intensified our hatred of the guy.
Right.
But it still would have been a gut punch if he weren't a factor.
Yeah, even if his wife had just like magically killed him with her new powers, so we still would have been like, oh man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Would have been also very dramatic if his wife did that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as dramatic for us as Moash.
Because we hadn't,
we don't know his wife.
Just met his wife.
But what an impression she made.
Yeah, she sure did.
As Joe continues, it's not going to make you guys like his case anymore. He says, we never really wanted you to agree with Moash and think he was right. He was clearly wrong. We just wanted you to get hurt more.
Yeah. Okay. What is wrong with this guy?
What?
Hey, Joe, I'm going to go ahead and say you do not speak for all of the listeners of this podcast. That is messed up, dude.
He says, after he kills Elhokar, he's very clearly a villain and won't be redeemed, which I'm going to pause to say there are still people at that point calling out for a Moash redemption arc. So, and honestly, people have put it to me after that point and been like, do you think Brandon could not write a believable Moash redemption arc there? And I'm like, well, when you put it like that, like, he could. Do I want him to? Well, not really, no. But
right. And what would be, you say believable redemption arc, right? It's like, it might be somewhat believable as a narrative, But would I agree that he's actually redeemed? No. And I think you get this narrative, redemption arc that doesn't really work in I know I bring this around a lot in Harry Potter. I don't think Snape is actually redeemed at the end of Harry Potter. I don't. I disagree with people who think he is. I'm with you on that. Most of the choices in Snape's life were selfish. And
we've
I
talked
don't
about
think
it before, but
I don't think he is redeemed at the end of that book. I think what he is very human.
Yeah.
And is his story sad? Sure. But I don't think he's redeemed at the end.
Yeah, turning out to have been against the bad guys secretly the whole time doesn't make up for being an asshole for no reason.
Yeah.
For your whole life.
Yeah, and like the only reason he turned against the bad guys was because it affected him personally. If he didn't do that, he would still firmly be on their side.
Yes, it was completely a selfish thing that he did because the woman he loved died. Like that is the only reason he made that choice. And Dumbledore even confronts him about it, and he says it's because of her. And he's like, after all this time, he's like, yeah, this is the only reason I'm doing any of this.
Yeah. No, we don't need to get into it because I know we've done it before, but I agree.
I just posted an image in the chat of like apparently how the listeners think according to this guy.
Yeah, let me see this.
Oh yes, your anguish sustains me.
Yeah. Why do you want me to feel, man? That's messed up.
He says, let me finish. We're almost at the end of the email. We are meant to be against him. He blames others for his mistakes, but it's still interesting to just understand him and where he came from because it makes him a more interesting villain. I just like seeing him as a dark mirror to Kaladin. He represents a dark path Kaladin could have taken if it wasn't for characters like Syl, Dalinar, Adel, and Lyran.
I'll give you that. That is interesting.
Yep.
That's this is the Kaladin that could have been.
And I think I said it before reading Oathbringer. It's like when he started doubling down on being a selfish asshole, and it's like I don't like him anymore. But it was more interesting to read that than him pretending to be a good guy in Words of Radiance.
Right.
It ends. There may be people out there who legitimately agree with Moash, but it is very likely a small minority. Moash's thinking pretty much goes against the themes that have been prevalent in all the Stormlight Archive books so far. That's the end of that. All right, let's do one other email, and this one has a review attached to it, and then we'll do our new patrons.
Sweet.
This one is from Bomo. It says, movies. Hi, I haven't emailed you guys in forever. I'm not going to take much of your time, but very quickly, you just passed my favorite scene in the Cosmere, and while, quote, you cannot have my pain is the most iconic line, my favorite that sticks with me is the most important step a man can take. It's not the first one, is it? It's the next one. Always the next step.
That is a good one.
Yep. Number 2, OMG, we're getting movies and TV. I'm so excited. And
we really talked about that, have we?
We talked about it a little bit, but yeah, we haven't gone super in depth on it. We even talked about some casting and stuff, I think, but
no, we don't need the excuse of like, hey, they're actually finally doing it to talk about casting.
Well, true.
We've been doing that for fucking years.
Number 3 in this email, my friend TC has the best suggestion for casting. Johnny Depp is the perfect Kelsier. No,
I'm going to say no on that.
I think he's a little old at this point.
Yep, too old.
Yeah,
he's a little too weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Kelsier was a bit of an odd fellow.
He is a bit,
but not in the same way.
All right, let me say it this way: I don't think Johnny Depp would be a bad Kelsier. Would he be
fair.
The best? Would he be the best choice? No, more than likely not. But he wouldn't. It wouldn't be like casting fucking I don't know, Kevin Hart or something.
Oh, okay, but yeah.
I mean, it strikes me like a Depp Grindelwald situation. It didn't really fit.
No, it didn't. Was he bad in the role? No. But I agree that it always felt like a weird. It felt more like we want Johnny Depp in these movies, so here's a.
And this movie takes place in France, and he lives there. So
honestly, weirdly thinking like, who could Johnny Depp be? I think he might be a Hoyd.
Yeah, I could see that more.
That could work.
I could absolutely see him dressed up in this as like the hobo or as wit and insulting people. Like I see both of these things.
Yeah, right. I could see that working. I could see half the fan base loving that and the other half despising it with every fiber of their being.
Yeah,
right. I mean, I feel like any of our picks are going to be like, we're not going to please everybody.
Yeah, but especially him because he is such a unique actor. Like I feel like any casting choice you make for him, people are either going to be like, that sounds awesome, or that sounds awful.
Yeah. His friend also wants to know who you think. It says a Muck Cage. I assume that should be Nick Cage. Who do you think Nick Cage would play in the Cosmere?
Oh Jesus! Now you're playing with fire.
We're big fans of Nick Cage on this podcast, but we know he's wild. Oh man, that's a good question. I feel like I'd want to give him a big role, but I feel like he would fit better as a smaller role. You know?
Actually, no. I know exactly who you want crazy fucking Nick Cage to play. Ruin.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
I could see. I'm sitting here thinking like Yedden.
No, yeah, Yedden's too
Thaddeus?
bit. No, Ruin I like because
Ruin is a great call.
Yeah, Ruin was like he said things like super dramatic, bombastically. I feel like in the book, so I feel like that's great.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of the other the one of the gang leaders in Elantris. That's like just that one guy who's like crazy and over the top.
Yeah. That would not be bad, but I think Ruin has a little more gravitas. More fun.
What about Miles 100 Lives?
No, I don't think he fits in that Western.
Okay.
No, I think he's a little too old. For that.
Okay, yeah.
If we're talking about a young one, like, or if Val Kilmer was still alive and he was young, that'd be a good,
I could see Michael Fassbender doing a great Miles.
Yeah, not bad. Who'd be another type like that? Maybe a younger guy though. Well, I guess Miles was supposed to be a little older, wasn't he?
Yeah, he'd been around for a bit. He'd been sheriffing for a bit, and then found out the weight of the world got to him, and sheriffing turned into outlawing.
Yeah, man, I now I'm really interested in who would be good for him. Fassbender's not bad.
The email ends with my friend TC sent me this 5-star review that he left. So he sends a screenshot of that. He'd like a misting power if Joe would be. So
okay,
I already got one.
So he wants his friend. Okay, that's funny. Well, I didn't really get a sense of you from your friend from the writing, so that makes it a little more difficult. You know, since your friend isn't the one writing in, I'm going to say that he's a lurcher. He's drawing it to himself instead of pushing himself out there.
Okay, nice. All right, we have 3 new patrons. I believe that should cover everyone since Joe. Let me double check the dates here. Yes, that should cover everyone since the last time Joe was here. Okay, so first joined at the Shard of Adonalsium level.
Ooh,
is Alex.
Alex, for being a Shard of Adonalsium, I feel like you have to store some investiture. You're a soul bearer.
Yeah, nice. And then Jules at the Ska level.
Jules, you are a fire soul. You store warmth.
And finally, also at the Ska level is James.
Ska level James, you are a pinnacle. You store determination.
So thanks, guys, for joining the Patreon. Anyone out there who's interested, most of what ends up going up on the Patreon is, right now I'm still putting up my reactions to Isles of the Emberdark as I read it for the first time. But there's also polls and other random stuff that pops up there. Dak is looking at recording some stuff about the 2-session Cosmere RPG that you did?
Yeah, we did it was a one-shot. We played it over 2 nights, so I need to collect thoughts and record that, and I need to do it soon because that was a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah, you don't want to forget it all. So yeah, that if he gets that done, that'll go up there. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check out our Patreon, and Joe will assign you a fairing power. Whereas if you leave us a 5-star review on the platform of your choice and send us a screenshot of that, Joe will assign you a misting power. If you want to send us those screenshots or any other kind of email, our address is thesanderlanch@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and other places on the internet where things happen. But thanks, as I said, to our patrons. Thanks to folks on the Discord. Thanks to everyone who shows up every week and just listens to us talk about these. We appreciate you. Remember, we're doing another 7 chapters for next time. So if you're reading along, that is 30 through 36 of Tress of the Emerald Sea, which will bring us, I believe, past the halfway point of this book. Yeah, we're going to be 55% when we finish that. So we're crossing the halfway point. So if you're following along, read those chapters. Music by Miracle of Sound. And Wasing to the Time of Next. Cola, P.S. Vasher. Crabs ahoy.
Queen of the pirates, she said sail on the raging sea. Run away, the name of the Irish, spun her tales on the ocean free. Run away, the queen of the pirates, she said sail on the raging sea. Run away, the name of the
We need something for this planet.
We talked about if we should do one for this planet, and you guys were all like, "Nah." I feel like
Did we?
I got an overwhelming no when I was like, "What
Oh.
should we do something for this?"